Alright, man. It's G.I. the gift, you heard? You know, I've been, my peoples have been sending me some, videos off of YouTube and showing me, like, the different things, like, the different run-ins that people have been having with the police on the road. And I'm just, like, it led me to wanting to do this video because I'm, like, I'm hearing the people screaming and hooping, hollering, and saying the little different things that they saying. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. But when you speaking to these police officers, one thing that you have to understand is that some of them don't know what the heck you talking about. They don't know where you coming from with the certain things and stuff like that. So they're coming from what they have been trained, you know what I'm saying, or how they have been trained, at the academy or whoever's training them, whoever's teaching them. So basically, when they're dealing with, traffic stops and stuff like that, first thing that you have to understand that traffic, know what the definition of traffic is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a few definitions, but the definitions that places you underneath their jurisdiction when they speak about traffic, when they saying that you're in traffic, they saying that you're in the mix of buying and selling, because traffic is buying and selling. It's the act of buying and selling. That's traffic. That's like you see if you know it's like how we're like for people who have sold drugs before, probably was incarcerated for drugs. When they say you have a trafficking charge, trafficking drugs. So more so saying that you're buying and selling drugs. You know what I mean? So now when you go to the situations where you're dealing with cars and stuff like that, they saying that you're in traffic. They're saying that you're in the mix of buying and selling. So basically what they're saying is that you're conducting business. With them saying that you're conducting business, it places you, if you agree to that, then that's saying that, okay, you're underneath the jurisdiction, you need license, registration, insurance. Why? Because every business needs license, registration, and insurance. This is what I'm trying to get to the people, like try to let the people know, like every business needs license, registration, and insurance, especially when you're dealing with the public. They need license, registration, and insurance. Why? Because they're saying that, in order for you to do this, in order for you to deal with their people, in order for you to deal with their citizens, that you need to be qualified, you need to be licensed, you need to be insured just in case something happens with their people, because that's their business. Remember that the United States is a corporation. It's a business. So when you go, so now boom, so now you traveling down the road and then they pull you over. It's a business stop. They stopping you. It's basically like an inspection. You know how when you see the big trucks and they riding down the road and then they got the scale and all that over there when they got to go through that and all that. They sign up for that. So like I was letting the people know before. I don't know if I put it on YouTube, but I was telling the people before, like, where I'm just like, yo, if you want to do private, if you want to travel and be private in the private capacity, like you want to be a private being, and you want your stuff to be private, like you don't want what you have to do is if you ever got a license from the DMV, I don't care whenever you got, I don't care if you was a child when you get, or not a child, but if you was like, when you hit 18, 16, you went through the little driver's ed and all that stuff and you did it, whenever you signed up, what you signed up for was to be a public transportation worker. All that stuff goes to the DOT. All that goes to the Department of Transportation. The Department of Transportation, they deal with the DMV. Right? So now when you look at what is it? Pay attention. Division of Motor Vehicles. What they do is they deal with every vehicle that's doing business in this corporate, like underneath the corporation. I'm not gonna say corporate land, but underneath this corporation. So now what you have to do is you have to go cancel your contract. That's why I say if you got a suspended license, suspension just means that it's in the air or it's suspended. Like it's just held off, but that's saying that you are still underneath contract. So if you're still underneath contract and your name, like say you use your business name, you say your business name, that's a whole nother video about the names. But this is for the people who was dealing with this traffic stuff and still using names and stuff. So now you say your name and they run your name and they say, boom, Oh, well, your name is coming up saying that, oh, you got a suspended license because it's saying you still conducted it. So what you have to let them know is, yo, cancel all that. I don't want all of that. I want all that done. Cancel every last bit of it. Cancel all contracts. You have to cancel all those contracts. It's business. The United States conducts business. Each and every step that the United States take, it's a business take. It's a business move because it's a corporation. So all their rules is regulated by business rules. When you want to step outside of the corporation and deal with yourself as a being, as a man, as a woman, if you want to deal like that, then you have to step away from the business. Step away from the business. You say, no, listen, I'm a living being on the earth. That right there, can nobody touch that. Nobody touch that. The second when you start to conduct business, the second when you jump into the business field, that's where the United States come in. That's where policing come in. That's where the feds come in. That's where all that stuff come in. That's where it come in. So that's what I say. Know the difference between the two. You got business, then you have that which deal with you. Now, you can conduct business as a man or as a woman. You can conduct business. But when you step into the business lane, it's rules and regulations, unless you're doing your own private business. But then you can't do certain business with other people. You have to do that with other private people. Because if you deal with the public, guess what? You deal with a United States citizen, guess what? You dealing with a United States worker. Even if they say, oh, I'm not a cit or I'm not this and a third. But if you still have some type of thing that's saying you are in there until you break that presumption, that you are underneath that, then they're going to still try to say that you are. Unless you're doing notification as they come along, as you encounter them, you let them know all contracts is canceled. So now this is how you handle a traffic stop. When they pull you over and they say license, registration, and insurance, what you tell them, I am not conducting business. I am not driving. I don't have passengers. I'm not driving and I don't have passengers. I am traveling. I am riding. I am using this car. Car, when people say, oh no, they don't say car. Car is a Latin, it's short. It's a Latin loan word to the English language. That means chorus. Chorus is a what? A chariot, that which is drawn by horses. So if you say car, you say, yeah, this is it. That's what it is. I am in it and I am using it. But now here's the thing. They say, oh, license, registration. That is something that I do not need for traveling. How do we know this? In the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, I believe it's either Article 13 or Article 14. Every human being has the right to travel to and fro within the borders of his state. That lets you know right there. When you jump to all these other stuff, you screaming, you being belligerent, you being disorderly. They're trained, and the blessing is that the video that I seen, that they ain't just bust the window and try to say, oh, he was belligerent and this, that, and the third. So it's just like, yo, they're still, well, what we could say is, they're still men just like us. They not like they walking around like zombies or whatever. You feel me? Like they're still men. So so you just gotta let them know, be kind. You catch more flies with honey than vinegar. You know what I'm saying? Kindness, man. Always living in honor. Man, they pull you over, they say, yo, license, registration, insurance. I don't need that. Why don't you need it? Because I'm not conducting business. I'm not driving. I don't have passengers. When you say, oh, this is my passenger. You know what? A passenger, right. Well, guess what? Think of it. It makes a whole lot of sense. Passengers get on what? Public transportation, planes, buses. If they in your car, see, they done made it. They done programmed it in your head to say it so much that everybody, oh, passenger, I'm a passenger. Passengers pay. Passengers pay. Passengers pay. Drivers get paid. By who? Passengers. So now they saying that you're driving. Not driving in the sense to force something to go forward. They're not saying in that sense. They're saying that you're driving, meaning that a driver earns like a chauffeur, well, not a chauffeur, but a chauffeur, like a chauffeur. That's what they're saying. You're chauffeur and is being around, and that's your passenger, and he's paying you. So now, oh, you need license? No, you don't, because I'm not driving. This is not a passenger. This is a guest, or he is a rider. He's riding with me. Even when you see it, like sometimes you might see even on bus, they say, oh, we got bus rides and stuff like that and things like that. But then there's still another way to try to trick you with that jargon, with that legalese jargon, that trick you up. And just keep it clear, keep it simple. Learn the rules, man. Learn the rules. Let them know. I'm not conducting business. So if I'm not conducting business, guess what I don't need? I don't need license, registration, and insurance. Even when they get to the point, oh, well, we need to identify you. You can identify me by looking at me. You can identify me by looking at me. That's to identify. You can look at me and identify me. When they say, oh, you need some type of thing, you need some type of thing, anybody can make an ID and put their face on and say that's them. That's why you got fake IDs running rampant. So all that, oh, no. You can identify me by looking at me. Let's not be foolish. Let's be honorable, stand on our own too, and be men. So now you look and say, they pulled me over. Okay. You pull over. Okay, they come up. Sir, what's the emergency? Because the thing is, they have rules and stuff that they had to follow. What's the emergency? Oh, well, we pulled you over because we believe you were speeding. I was speeding. What make you believe that I was speeding? Everybody, like what? Why wouldn't I be? Everybody is on this road speeding. In order to get the vehicle to move, you got to do what? You got to make it do a speed. So all of those little different things that they try to say, oh, you was going over the speed limit. No, the speed limit is for who? Those people who are in commerce. It's regulated for those people who are in commerce. It's not regulated for those being traveling because, listen, if you're traveling, right? And you have the right mindset where you say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treat others as you would have them treat you. So now if you ride and you doing a nice little speed over or whatever, and you're paying attention to what's going on and everyone around you and not trying to harm anyone around you, then you're in the right. You can do whatever you can. Listen, whatever God says you can do, you can do. Whatever God say you can't do, don't do. It don't got nothing to do with no man. Don't got nothing to do with no man. Whatever God say you can do, because God is the one who created you. Man didn't create you. God is the one who created you, so he got the rule over you. When you start to go into all this, this man, no, it's not happening like that. That thing don't rock like that. And that's what the people need to get in tune with. That's why I made a video where I was saying people really need to get in tune with themselves. And the moment when you get in tune with yourself, that's the moment that you start to get closer to God. Why? Because God is the one who put that spirit in you. God is the one who put that soul in you. This is just the flesh. This is just the flesh. That's the body that was created by God. But you have the breath of life within you that is from God. It said God did what in Genesis? He said that he did what? He blew. He blew the breath of life into man's nostrils. Come on, man. So now, and that's people, all right, my foot is 14 minutes. I said I was going to keep it under 15. So, man, hopefully I gave the people just enough to be able to know the difference between business and what you do for your own pleasure. And what you do and whatever you do for your own pleasure, that's private. It's private, man. And that's how you do it. Hopefully I got it clear to the people. And if not, let me know. And then tell me the points that I missed, and I'll come with it. That's what I'm here for. Well, partially. I'm first here to worship God. And I just want to help the people. That's it.